We're back with the old Atlas, and the air system is still the problem. The cheap compressor helped, but it wasn't the end of the story. The machine still needed proper pressure, and I still didn't trust the setup. I'd left the power on last time, so the first job was just getting power back into the machine. Then I tightened the compressor as far as I could.
He was up before the daylight, boots on cold concrete, coffee in a stained old thermos, gravel crunching under feet. Fired up that tail excavator, just coughs and finds its tone. 12 tons of stubborn metal, but it never walked.
And gave the generator belt a quick temporary tension too.
Atlas iron in the rain.
The generator belt is now basically a thin thread left from what once was a proper 10mm V-belt. It still has a little life left in it, I hope. If it survives, great. If not, I'll buy a new one next time the budget allows. Or when it finally gives up and snaps like a proper old machine part.
And all the old machines they kept alive, you don't see their names on the skyline, but they're the reason that the skyline can survive. From broken grounds to shining highways, they carved this world with calloused hands. Raise a cup to all that rust and oil that built our lives out of rock and sand. Old ton, 3 tons and 2 on worn out tires, airlines bleeding, tank.
It was not ideal, but I wanted to see what the machine would do.
But that boom still bites and pulls. He's dug cable trenches at midnight, lifted beams in sideways snow. If a job's outlooked there were possible, that's exactly where he'd go. There were nights the yard was silent, just his headlamp, just the frost, changing hoses in the darkness, counting hours, counting cost. But when morning hit the mirrors and the diesel found its song,
the first start attempt still failed. The voltage was there, the fuel pump was running, but the engine just wouldn't take. So instead of guessing, I did something simpler. I fed air into the system from the garage compressor and started checking for leaks and functions one by one.
Some machines apart for good, but the bridges still stand solid where their sweat and steel once stood. And a younger hand grabs the joysticks, and a second-hand old rig hears the ghost in every cylinder, and he starts to understand the gig. So here's to the man of
high gear, low gear, around the machine. Just trying to figure out what else was hiding in this old air system. The separate compressor at least told me one thing. The machine was taking air, and the gauge was climbing to around 10 bar. But there were still 2 control levers down there that I didn't fully understand. I knew they had something to do with the air system, but I didn't yet know exactly what they were doing. So if anyone watching knows how these old components are supposed to work, I'd love to hear it in the comments. I'd been charging the battery for about an hour, but it was obvious that wasn't enough. The old machine still needed more power before it would really wake up. And then there was the storm. A few days earlier, it had ripped the front window apart. It was just a plexiglass screen, and it was supposed to have a proper frame around it, but I never got that far before the storm hit. So now the plexiglass was lying all around the machine, scattered everywhere, like a tornado had passed through the yard. The machine was sitting there, half ready, half broken, and I knew I had to come back to it properly. So the next day, I went straight to the compressor itself. I wanted to know one thing first. Was the compressor actually building pressure on its own? If it was, the fault had to be somewhere after it. If it wasn't, then I was looking in the wrong place. I started the engine again and watched the gauge. If you want to help this channel right now, the best thing you can do is subscribe. It tells YouTube this is a channel worth showing to more people. And thank you to everyone already subscribed. It means a lot.
Air cooled metal that never got to rest. Thousands of hours, no logbook strong enough. Just a meter's needle bleeding to the red sunset. You pull big blocks out of the clay, roll the earth like waves for years. Loaded truck after truck on muddy sides that came and disappeared. 1,000 tons through every pin.
Nothing. No pressure. That told me enough.
On solid bedrock, called a story only you can feel. All the seals that finally gave up, oil along your hydraulic veins. Drop by drop on a rusty frame, black tattoos from a lifetime of pain. So much air through those cooling fins, dust and leaves in your heavy song. That fan kept howling through the seasons, like a memory of when you were strong. You stood in rain, no night shift mud, no coffee break, no easy way while people slept in heated homes. You kept the ground in place till day controls worn down by working hands.
So off came the top cover on the new compressor.
Shift a brand new baseline, a fresh foundation, someone made. Rust and play, old scratches in your faded paint, sunburned decals barely readable, but I know every job you faced. Bolts are frozen into history, dry joints begging to be.
And there it was, one tiny valve sitting wrong. Nothing dramatic, nothing broken in half, just wrong enough to let the pressure escape between the cylinders instead of building properly. That was the real problem. A brand new compressor and one small part mounted wrong from the factory. Of course.
You built the roads and docks and houses long before the CO2 talk came. You were pushed until you broke down. No retirement, just a weighbridge and a flame. I hear the hydraulic pump still whisper when I twist your key and pray, as if you're saying, give me just a little diesel and I'll show what I can do today. One more trench and one more bucket, one last full and honest run. But your scars and all your leak marks tell the story better when you're done. So rest when you can, my old friend, but we both know how this will go. Every time I see a stubborn boulder, I think that's you and me once more, you know. Cause no new machine with screens and sensors, no clean cab from a factory line can take away the dirt you moved, all the tons you
I cleaned it all up, put it back together and tried again. This time the compressor woke up instantly. The pulley stopped because the pressure built so fast it hit the limit straight away. That was the first real win in this episode.
metric human see whatever fits in the hole. If it holds for one more season, then it's good for the soul. Rusting frame, paint burned thin. Every fix I've done is screwed right in.
There we go.
My skin for frozen February nights to July sun's glare. If it broke on
So I hooked it back into the machine, expecting the whole air system to finally behave.
pray for miracles, I pray for grit, for a socket that bites and a torch that'll hit. This is for the old boats, rusted threads and red hot steel, for the busted knuckle warriors who turn pain into a deal, for the roadside fixes, the ratchet straps and fence wire art, legendary engineering born.
It did, but maybe too well. Now it was charging past 10 bar, and that was too much. At least I had pressure, but it still wasn't right. So I stopped there for the day, packed everything away, and decided to sleep on it. Sometimes that's the best move anyway. Step back, let it sit, and come back with a clearer head. And honestly, there's always something else in life that needs doing too.
Where the bracket gave in.
The next battle was the pressure regulator on the main tank. That old Westinghouse regulator had probably been sitting untouched since the machine was new.
The rust and hopes, tying down a mismatched set of second-hand bolts. I patch fuel lines with hose from a tractor's brake. Stole clamps off the scrap pile just to make it awake. Bled a diesel on the shoulder while the truck screamed past, with a lighter in my teeth and diesel running down the glass. You can keep your warranty in showroom shine. I'll take grease in my coffee and problems that are mine. This is for the old folks, rusted threads and red hot steel, for the busted knuckle warriors who turn pain into a deal, for the roadside fixes, ratchet strats and fence wire art, legendary engineering born from it's too late to fall apart.
I tried to work it loose on the machine at first, but in the end it made more sense to take the whole valve off.
We've just got guts and time, holding old machines together, one mad idea at a time. We learned to cut new threads where the old ones died, and made in a hole where fine pitch used to hide. Wash the stacks like poker chips under tired springs. Zip ties holding more than they ever should on anything. We welded cracks by phone light with wind in our face. Turn junkyard brackets into something that could brace. If it gets you off the shoulder and it gets you back home, then that ugly little fix is a masterpiece of chrome. They call it barge work, I call it one more day. For a truck, for a digger that someone couldn't just throw away. old Swedish steel and some farmer's brain. That's the reason half these ghosts still roll in the rain. So when the new world laughs at the state of my rig, they don't see every roadside battle that made it this big. Every scar in the chassis is a story I own. Every sea stubborn fastener that I finally thrown. This is for the old boats, rusted threads and red hot steel. For the busted knuckle heroes who'll know what's fake and what is real. For the midnight patches, angle grinder sparks in the dark. Legendary engineering born from just get it to the next farm. We don't need permission, we just got fire and drive, keeping ancient iron breathing, dragging dead weight back to life.
I didn't have the perfect tools for the job here, but you do what you can with what you've got. Sometimes that means using the tools in the box, a bit of patience, and a stubborn attitude.
Finally takes its rest, we'll hang those rusty bolts up like medals on our chest. Old bolts and broken knuckles, that's our hand tonight. Old machines and stubborn people taking one more fight. Back in 1919, in a barn out in the cold, warehousing made a promise.
It fought me every step of the way. Everything was tight, rusted, and stubborn, but eventually I got the cover off and could finally see what was inside.
And he kept them near. He shaped the steel, he bent the iron, he built what others missed, turned a poor man's problem into a machinist's gift. Then the world went dark and the smoke rolled high, but he came back swinging when the war ran dry. June of 45, he started from the ash with grit in his bones and a future in the stash. Built from steel and will, raised up from the flame, from the ashes of the old world. It was born in German rain. Strong enough to work, strong enough to stand, a machine with a heartbeat built by working hands. Oh, Atlas, you're a hard old song, a giant in the dirt where the brave belong. Built from steel and will, from the fire and the grind, made to keep on running till the end of time. By 49, the hydraulics came alive. 50 brought the first one rolling out to drive. No more cables, no more chains, no more broken wheel. Just pure hydraulic muscle and a man-made thrill. Then came the AP 1500, looking like it fell from space, but it was built for the mud, built for the human race. Every move, every swing, every dig in the ground was a revolution, dressed in iron sound. And they built it tough, and they built it right, so a man in the field could walk through the night. Built from steel and will, raised up from the flame, from the ashes of the old world. It was born in German rain. Strong enough to work, strong enough to stand, a machine with a heartbeat built by working hands. Oh, Atlas, you're a hot old song, a giant in the dirt where the brave belong. Built from steel and will, from the fire and the grind, made to keep on running till the end of time. singing low. 5 bar on the gauge, but it ought to go. Belts and valves and pulleys still.
It was just a spring-loaded diaphragm, simple in theory, a lot less mysterious once I had it apart. I cleaned everything carefully, put it back together, and mounted it on the machine again.
Built from steel and will, raised up from the flame, from the ashes of the old world, it was born in German rain. Strong enough to work, strong enough to stand, a machine with a heartbeat built by working hands. Oh, Atlas, you're a hot old song, a giant in the dirt where the brave belong. Built from steel and will, from the fire and the grind, made to keep on running till the end of time. From a barn in Delman horse to the fields today, that old iron still speaks in its own hard way. Every weld, every bolt, every scar.
The pressure came up to around 9 bar, which is still higher than I want, but at least now the regulator was doing something, and more importantly, the excavator had air again. That means the functions work, the machine is usable, and it's already 1,000 times better than before. It still needs more work, the system is not perfect, and there's another issue I'll deal with later, but this was a real step forward. 3 days of crawling around this old machine, chasing bad air, bad parts, and bad assumptions. Next time, I'll probably move over to the truck for a while. Not because it's ready for inspection, and not because I'm pretending it's all under control, just because I want it usable, dry, and mechanically sound enough to trust again.